Alright, ladies and gents, this is gonna be a steak video. This bad boy right here. This is was labeled a T-bone. And I'm sure some of you realize that the T-bone and the Porterhouse are virtually the same steak, but the Porterhouse is further, I don't know if it's more front, I think it's more in the front of the cow rather than the rear. But the front portion here, you of course have your New York strip here, and on this side is basically your tenderloin, your fillet. And in order for it to be called a Porterhouse, according to Guga, number one, if it's a big old fillet, it's a Porterhouse. And as you can see, it is a big boy fillet. And not to mention, it can stand on its own. I do have it laying against the plate because I don't want it to topple during the video. But, yeah, it's definitely over 3 inches. So I think this is like a true Porterhouse. It's a decent marbling. The fillet looks amazing. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna season it with salt, pepper, garlic powder on every surface. I'm gonna insert the temp probe into the fillet. Cook it probably to about maybe 95, 100, because I'm still pan searing this stuff. I don't have my charcoal setup going yet. So the pan searing takes a little bit longer, and so I don't want to overcook it. So I might even slice this out after it's, because I'm gonna cook it in the oven. Again, I don't have a charcoal setup, but I'm cooking it. I got the oven preheating right now to like 265. Gonna really slowly heat it up, and then yeah, after that we're going to have already on my oven, I have a hot spot in my oven right here. Whoops, that's a ton of water. Sorry guys, I just realized there's a bunch of water on my may have been for my son doing his dishes. I don't know, I got a bowl out of the dang, that was kind of a lot of water. That was like a cheapers, like a teaspoon of water. Who knows, he was probably in here. Again, my son is fully taking over the dishes, so every now and then we'll have a few hiccups, but what I'll do is I'll preheat some butter. I would like to use fresh garlic, but I have this, and then some rosemary. I'll put it in a bowl, get it all melted down, put it right here. Sometimes I like to add a little Worcestershire to that mix, and that'll be my basting. And then of course we'll pan sear it with grapeseed oil. But yeah, look at this bad boy. You know, here it goes. Turn around without having it fall on the floor here. I mean, come on guys. Alright, there we go. There we are. Look at that. Not bad marbling. This is a steak from Cars, which is Safeway. And it was $7.99 a pound for this thing. In fact, I'll show you. This is the label. USDA Choice Beef Loin T-bone steak. Okay, this one, yeah, was $8.99 a pound. The other one I got was but look at that, $12 for a Porterhouse. Oh my goodness. This is the other steak I got. This thing is a monster. Alright. Okay, we're preheated, I gotta get going. So this thing here, $7.99 a pound, bone-in New York strip, $10, 1.35 pounds. Look how thick this thing is. This thing is thicker than this steak, as you can tell. I mean, this thing is a monster. So I gotta be careful, I don't want to poke it. So I really want to cook this with I'll be okay with cooking it in the oven, but I want to finish this one off with hot charcoal sear or my weed burner, which will become a flamethrower. So with a little butter involved. But yeah, man, look at this. This is a monster. Shout out Cars, $10 monster New York strip. All right, so sorry for all the movement, and of course my iPhone is not autofocus, so I have to do it by hand every single moment. All right, guys, well, we're gonna stop here and we're gonna season this thing, and then I'll probably start up another video right before we put it in the oven. Thanks for tuning in. All right, we've got this steak ready to go. Got her nicely seasoned. You could obviously, dry brine something like this overnight, which would be like salting it, letting it sit for as long as possible. Obviously, if you let it sit overnight, it has to be in the fridge. It's almost like a mini. Well, it's getting the salt to leach deep into the meat. Like a super small dry aged as well. But excuse me. So what I'm gonna do here is, oh, I'm so sorry, guys. Is I think once the fillet comes up to temp, I'm gonna just slice it off and then probably put the temp, because I guarantee this whole New York strip is gonna take a little longer. So that's probably what I'm gonna do. And that way I'll sear off the bone, because with the bone, it sears better. As you can see, the bone is a little bit higher than the meat, so if you try to pan sear a bone in, sometimes you won't get a good sear. It'll still be good, but it won't get the contact you want. So right now, this darn thing is kind of acting up. There we are. This is my device. It seems like it's already taking a crap on me. Hello. Alright, let me stop touching it. There we go. 46. Alright, so we're going to go in the oven here. Get this out of the way so I don't mess this up doing it one-handed. Yeah, I think this connection's going bad. Of course, it's got a middle rack, no big deal. All we're doing is slowly bringing the meat up to temperature. I always like to pull this thing up. Okay, so it's in the heat. And in fact, let me turn this up to 270. Now, here what I'm gonna do is I don't want to get this stupid thing to read. Hello. Alright, there we go. I'm not even going to touch it now. Okay, so mode. Okay, mode. Set temp. Now we're going to go over to custom. Hit start. We're going to go down to the temp we want. Since that fillet's so small, since that fillet's so small, let's go 105. And then once the fillet reaches this temp, we'll pull it out. We'll have the pan ripping hot, sear it off, get it cooked, as I'm actually gonna save that for my wife. That's off limits for me. And then I'll get the probe back in and probably set the New York to 95, because I've found, I'm gonna hit start there. I found that with my setup, if I cook it past 100 degrees in the oven, by the time I get a good sear on it, it can get overcooked. especially if I'm basting too long. So anyway, so this is in the oven. This is hot as a pistol, this bowl, and it's not that hot, but it's really hot coming out here. It's like the vent. So I already got the rest of my seasoning on the plate. Just shook it into here. I'm gonna put probably half of this butter, maybe all of it, probably all of it, and then crush some rosemary, put some garlic in there, let it melt down, stir it. This will probably take I don't know, 5-10 minutes for that filet to cook. It's already jumping up, so probably 10 minutes. But let's get it ready. It's gonna be so good. All right, everybody, we got our basting butter. We got butter, rosemary, garlic, dried garlic chunks, little teeny chunks, and a teeny bit of garlic powder, a little bit of salt and pepper left over from the seasoning table. Right now it's getting melted down, and it's gonna be perfect. So if I get a decent shot here. Oh, looks like Thousand Island dressing here. Anyways, we'll get this melted all the way down here. Try not to make too much noise until late. So, there's the setup. And so here we are at 62. It's probably been about 7 minutes since my last shot, or my last video, so 63 already. So everything's pretty much pared down. All I need is my grapeseed. I need to make sure, I need to remember to move the camera with my, I can't wait to get like a head mount GoPro or something. So I've got my pads for my pan. Very soon I'm gonna get this thing heated up, get it prepped. I got my tongs, I've got forks and knives. I might add some of this if I feel like it. Paper towels for cooking. So yeah, we're basically already cleaned up. Move these over here just in case. So we're ready to go. Stuff is continuing to get. This is a heat source right under here, in fact, so watch this. Look at that, it's already just falling off the, I'm so sorry about the filming. Alright, so I'm gonna put this right there for now. I'm gonna use the 12-inch. Most of my cooks I've been using, it's like a 10.5 inch. It's got the best base as far as, you know, cast iron. But this is pretty good. I don't know if you can really tell here. You see it's kind of lots of pock marks, lots of texture. There you go. But it's beginning to fill in, and the new cast iron will have a lot of this texture. It's up to you to cook it, you know, cook bacon, chicken, whatever you need to do. And every cook you do will get better and better. And I already told my son, I was like, boy, you'll inherit this cast iron one day. But here, let's take a look at this butter. Watch this. Oh yeah. It's like a little pot on the stove here. This will actually start to cook the butter, so very soon I'm gonna have to slide this out. So it's really cool. It's actually a nice feature. All right, we're gonna get this pan fired up. We're getting there. All right, guys, this is the filet all cooked. I got just seconds. This thing's ready. This thing's probably at 110. I need to sear it off. I just cleaned out the pan. I got tons more basting material. Let's do it. Alright, y'all. So we have this lovely T-bone with plenty of meat still up here. I'm gonna save that in a Ziploc bag, and I'll pan fry it and harvest the meat for maybe a breakfast dish or whatever. Here's what I get to eat: my New York strip, which is still resting. Didn't quite get the sear on it that I wanted. Here's the filet. It's my wife's right here. This is the very tip, which should have been the most cooked, and it still had pink after like, shoot, it's been 15-20 minutes since it's been sitting here. So this, oh, it's so good. Let's try it. Oh wow. Here, let me sit you down for 1 second, all right? Give me just 2 seconds. Let's get this New York strip. I think I overcooked this thing, to be honest. Bad. Not too bad at all. I'm gonna slice it up and eat it. I'll do another video after it's sliced. All right, here we are. Looking pretty good. I'm gonna get a fork. Let's try it. This looks good. Just try a little chunk off it. Wow. This is really good. Thanks for watching, y'all. Porterhouse. This is the New York strip. I'll film my wife tomorrow when she eats her filet. Alright, y'all, as probably you can tell, the first cuts were actually not against the grain. Here we are with some against the grain slices. Let's try it. My famous tortilla. I like to grill a tortilla. Please forgive me, I'm a mechanic, so my hands can be somewhat stained, but they're clean. You grill a tortilla, fry it up, whatever, and put that steak right on top of that thing. My dogs have now awake. These guys have been going crazy. What do you guys want? I always love it when I cook steak. Get in, Michael. What are you doing? Kenai. Shh. Okay, 1 second. Alright, y'all. Aftermath. Everything's cleaned up, rinsed off. My wife actually came out and ate the filet. I wasn't gonna film, but she had just woken up. She was looking for a midnight snack, and I gave her the most amazing filet mignon midnight snack. But there you have it. So it is super late. I think I gotta go to bed. So what I did though is I cleaned out this pan, and I have you can't even see in there. There you go. I cleaned out the pan. I re-oiled it very, very, very lightly. Put it back in the oven. Turned it up to 350, and I just turned it off. And this will kind of kind of seal off that. Here you go. This will seal off that next layer of goodness, adding to the seasoning. So there you have it. Another indoor perfect porterhouse. Stay tuned for more.